No, that's not. It's not that. But the person you say, who is this? I want the mentee. I want her to come up so that she can introduce herself because I just met her last week, and so I'm still learning about her, and she's learning about me, and this would be a really good opportunity.
So Vicentia, there's a link above right above your comment for all this comment to you. StreamYard, that StreamYard link in the comments. Copy that and paste that into your browser. That'll bring you in the studio. You can turn your camera off once you're in the studio, but as long as we can hear you. You must enable camera and microphone before you come in the studio. You're connected to Vicentia, right? Ollie, are you connected now? I'm sure you're not. Yeah, given that Ollie's doing our comments management today, if you can copy and send that link to Vicentia, Ollie, that'd be really helpful.
Of course, I already posted in the comments the link of the StreamYard.
Thank you.
With joy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am. Okay, so I'm on Instagram.
So
How do I set up the event
on Instagram?
Yes.
Down the left hand side, there's normally where there's all those different settings.
Okay, so I'm going to go to
find the one that says event or go live, something like that.
Okay. I try edit profile. Let's try settings. Apps and websites. Let's try that one.
Instagram.
Oh, you said try the live, so maybe it's just a simple create button.
It is.
Okay, live video.
Yeah.
Drop down on audience, public. Let's go public. Next. Okay, so copy the stream.
Yeah.
Got it.
Copy and paste that code into your StreamYard for today's event, and away you go.
Okay, so we are live on.
I can tell you all of them. Facebook, my Facebook, your LinkedIn, my YouTube. There's another LinkedIn somewhere. I don't know which one that is.
I have. It might be my company page, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, so your company page, LinkedIn, your Instagram, you got another LinkedIn. You got how many LinkedIns you got? And your YouTube.
So I thought I had one. I merged two accounts though.
No. I decided also to share to my own LinkedIn and YouTube so that you gain more visibility.
Yeah, superb. So that explains.
Thank you.
There's more YouTubes than there's more LinkedIn accounts than I guess I know, but they don't all attach my accounts. I'm like, okay, all good. Okay, but now we're happy. Can I play my song now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me play
any song that you would like.
No,
this is the inspiration for the room today.
Yeah, it's not me, Coach Kate.
No, it's a word game. It's not E-N-I, it's A-N-I. Any song. any song.
Well, I dedicated the song to him because we have a collaboration coming up that I'm going to also talk about today.
Let's go for it, my friend.
Is about. So this song is to kind of introduce the collaboration.
Let's hear the song.
Of your time, I could tell you stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. Yeah. So give me just 1 second of your time.
1 second to let it breathe. Just a second is all I need. When you're questioning everything you believed, and you're fighting with the devil in your dreams. 1 second, just let me be. Let it pour, let it rain, let it bleed. Heavy is the head, but the pressure makes you heave. So you bill it, cause the spirit of depression never sleeps. And I am not the poster boy for mental health. I need peace of mind, I need to center self. The cover of the enemy, that shit made me resent myself. There's people trying to spread the word and people that pretend to help, but how am I complaining when I'm blessed? I get this guilty feeling on the days I'm at my best, when all these demons that I carry get to messing with my head. So could you give me just a second just to get it off my chest, please?
Of your time, I could tell you stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. So give me just 1 second of your time.
Lie. 1 second to recollect. Just a second is all I get. I can't tell where I'm heading, I'm out of breath. All these early premonitions of my death. But I knew he had a plan. Lord knows I'ma do it if I can. When I take a stand, they say I'm ruining my brand, but I could never give a fuck, that's just my duty as a man. So if I go on stage at Brits and tell the PM she's a bitch, then that's exactly what it is, and I don't want no bloody straps for it. Mummy always said if there's a cause, then I should fight for it. So yeah, I understand, but I don't think that I'm alright with it. Like yeah, cool, I get it. Yeah, I know I said it, but there's people fighting every day and they don't get the credit. But it's cool, man, it's just one of the stresses in my mind. To get this off my chest, I need a second of your time, please.
Stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. So give me just 1 second of your time. Just 1 second. Just 1 second of your time, I could tell you stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. So give me just 1 second of your time. So give me just 1 second. So give me just 1 second.
We're back.
Woo!
There you go.
Love
Okay,
it.
where'd you go?
Love this tune.
Okay, can
Amazing.
you see me?
Yeah.
Yes, just 1
Okay.
second.
We can
Okay,
see you.
we
We can hear you. Over to you. Let's have the show we want to have.
Okay, so I want to talk about the reason that we're here today because I've had a lot of changes happen, and the route I thought I was on in terms of where I wanted to go in the direction of career and life, like everything has changed. And I'm looking forward to hopefully inspiring people in a way that when life changes and things don't work out, the only job you actually have is to not give up on whatever it is that you're dreaming about. Because life is designed to make you want to kill your dream. The systems are built up that way to make you think smaller and work for whatever that dream was. Whatever the dream of that country originally, if it was made for the people to work for it, you're not designed to necessarily dream big. It's supposed to be like, a collaborative effort. And so understand that life is already designed to take you out. So we need as many things to balance this life to just create the peace, or if you want to say the heaven on earth, like it can be created based off what you focus on. And so the main thing that we're talking about today is I've been running a fundraiser. I've had changes with my health, changes with my career, and changes with my family. And so I've decided to leave my job as of this Friday. Yes, was it 2 days ago, I guess? I resigned from being a teacher. And while I was there, I had made a promise to the children in my class that I would create a after-school program, a free after-school program, because I had come up with a way that would allow them to have somewhere to go safe after school that was specifically designated to cultivate their dream and to give their kids a break. And the way that I created the system, I'm like, okay, well, if I can just get this done here, then I can replicate this in any country that I go to. I know exactly how to do it to where I can impact so many children and help so many parents and so many families. But between me getting a cancer diagnosis back in May, I'm also going through a divorce. And I was working at a job that was just not meeting my needs. And after putting my all into everything that I believed in, I realized that I had completely forgot about me. And the goal of all of this the goal of all of this is to make sure that these beautiful children that I met, that people keep seeming to overlook, I need them to know that there are adults in this world that actually care about your dream, that will support you, that they may not ever see you, but understand that it's people out here that cares, because I don't want them to give up on a dream. And working with these kids, I realized, my therapist told me, he said, yeah, you were robbed of your childhood. And I kept saying, like, what do you mean? Like, I grew up. I never understood what robbed of your childhood actually meant, because there are so many kids that never made it out of their childhood. I know so many kids that died as kids that I never looked at it. I never saw life in a way that I was robbed of anything. I got to wake up every single day and literally do whatever I wanted to. I didn't have a lot of protection around me, but I always had angels around me that protected me. And so I was able to go out at a very young age and see a lot of things that most adults haven't seen. And so I get it now. I completely get it now. And so I feel like the best thing that I could do when it comes to leaving a legacy behind, because the class that I actually teach, when I teach it to children, it's called the Art of Storytelling using photography and videography. And it allows every kid, no matter the language they speak, the power to tell their story in a way that it's actually their legacy. It's something for them to leave behind, that if anything were to ever happen to them, they would have put their legacy and everything that they believe in out there. And only if let's say for example, Anne Frank. I remember reading her her book when I was about 14, and it's like if she would have never took the time to write down what she lived through, we would never know. I had to make sure my kids understood like we are all living history, and whatever is left behind, that's your legacy. And so to show them how serious I am about them, this launch is about showing me how serious I am about me, because if I don't show them, I understand that nobody else will. And so after leaving the school, because that's the long version of it, but after leaving the school, I told them on my last day, I said, well, we're not going to do an after school program because I'm no longer going to be with the school. But how about an adventure club where we can agree to meet up on the weekends? If your parents are okay with it, they would have to sign off, and we could start our adventures right here in our own backyard. Since most of the kids don't know that I'm actually their neighbor, that I actually live here, I've been dodging them for months. And so with me not working at the school, I would be okay with taking them, and we do little walks throughout the neighborhood and write down observations of what we see, and just turning every day into an adventure, going to the library and allowing them to try new restaurants and new things. And so I've been trying to get this idea out. And the first time I had a fundraiser, maybe 2 weeks ago, it didn't go so well. Nobody donated $1 and nobody showed up. The idea was to go live from the fundraiser, and then we'll see if we could, grab in extra money on the lives to make these adventures come true for the kids that did my class, like my class. We work well together, and I wouldn't mind, doing this. And so they were kind of bummed out after the first fundraiser. And so I said, okay, well, I'll do whatever I have to make sure that the second fundraiser doesn't go like the first fundraiser. So how about, instead of we doing an adventure club just for kids, I'll create another adventure club for adults. And if we can make the adults see why these things are important, then maybe they'll understand why it's so necessary to pour into you. So that's what I did. I am going to I've already created an online community where adults could join. Sorry, I'm saying so much. Where adults could join, and it's a mindset and it's an adventure club. It's like an action club. So I'm not going to put you in a bunch of classes. There will be invites for separate classes, but for me, mindset is about drowning yourself in positive affirmations, like acknowledging the feelings and where I am in life so that they can no longer hold me back. But then replacing the negative thoughts that I might have with positive thoughts. And so the positive thoughts that I drown myself in, I put those into the online community, and they range from my daily bread, which is a spiritual aspect for people that are more spiritual, but they go all the way to David Goggins, who's a Navy SEAL, and he's going to say the same thing, but the exact opposite way of what Jesus was saying, because I need to hear all the different variations at different times. And so I put what it is, I label them. So someone that doesn't like cursing, don't click on David Goggins. But but it's I so that people don't have to go find what they need. I just want to put what they need in a centered place, as well as it's a way for people to ask questions publicly or anonymously. And if I have resources that I believe can help you, that won't hurt me, I'm going to give them to you. So if I can help you achieve your dreams, I can do it that way in a centralized place. But anyone else that sees that someone's in need of something, if they have a resource that can help them, then they'll just give them the resource. I'm going to encourage a lot of referral systems, because there are ways for everybody to, I don't have to charge you. If he's making money off you, he'll give me a love offering back of, hey, thanks for sending me somebody. And it's just going to make me want to send them more people. So that kind of segues into Annie and I's our project that's coming up, because Annie's going to record the different marketing ways and methods that I do, and we're going to launch a book Do you know about when? Any?
I never know. I never know when. We basically we start and then it's a process.
I like that. So it's to come in 2025. We can say that.
For sure.
But this adventure club, and I'll show people what I'm doing and how I'm doing it via YouTube, and I'll have more insightful videos in the actual community. But I'm planning on just being transparent about my whole journey and just being, serious about it. And so I'm going to pour my all into giving the adults what they need so that they feel more comfortable giving to this community naturally, knowing that every time they give to the community, it's going to feed the kids' community. I'm not going to charge these kids ever for anything that I want to do with them. And I'll be doing a minimum of one activity a month. And so for people that are in Houston, there'll be fundraiser style where I'll sell tickets to it. And we'll spend a day hanging out like a small group of people. And everything will be all inclusive. Eventually it'll grow to taking trips in different destinations where I know people, but I have a point to prove to the adults so the adults can continue to give and continue to be a part of it so that each time they give, it grows the kids community. The kids are like, well, we'll pay for it. I have money. And I'm like, no, I don't want money from kids. I want to show the community why we can't forget about you guys, why we can't put you guys in situations where you're seeing things or doing things that are not meant for children to have ever seen, so that none of these kids could, go through that experience of what it may feel like to be robbed of your childhood. I want them to continue dreaming. Like, this is the legacy I want to leave behind. So that's why we're here today.
I could say thank you for being so vulnerable, for being so open, and of course.
Always. That's why I was running from y'all.
As in, anyone who was in our community, let's say a year ago, we know that Coach K was very busy. So we showed up once a week to do our networking room. Yeah. Of course, you're doing this room, the butterfly effect, as you call it. Yeah, and then suddenly you just disappeared. So, I guess now we know why. And
this year was a very, very, very rough year. It'll be another book later down the line, but I'm not even in a space of getting into this year. There's so much going on around it that I legally can't. But
it's 2025 will be better.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to simply living. Like, my plan is to get out of this country and just get back into the world. Go see the people and have live events with people that have showed up for me at times that I didn't think I was seen. You guys got me through a really rough patch. A year ago, I couldn't walk and I was stuck in the bed, and you guys were like my little buddies around my bed.
I like that. Of course, and I think it's important when you say life is there to throw curveballs at us. Life is there.
It's made that way.
It's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing great. Everyone would be doing amazing, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to my son yesterday. I'm saying to him, you got a choice. He's 15. I'm like, you got a choice. The choice you make now is what's going to determine the rest of your life. Do you want to be amongst the 1%? Do you want to be amongst the 2%? Maybe the 5%? Or do you want to be a 90%? And he's like, oh, it's too much hard work to be amongst the top. So I'll just be like everyone else. I'm like, such words you're going to regret one day. And but you don't know yet.
I wonder where he learned that at.
Not from me, he didn't. Until now, I'm sure you can hear me. Until now, I want to be a doctor. I'm like, great. We'll sell our souls as your parents. Will sell everything to help you be a doctor, because we know you have to fund this dream.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's exam time. He's all rolling backwards. I'm like, being ordinary does you no good. You have to aim a bit higher for yourself. Yeah, but I think, I think the reason I mentioned that, I think positivity is an important point. And life will throw great hurdles at you, and we have to somehow push past them with the hope that things will get better, things will be worth it in the end, things will only ever improve. But there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. You can do all that, and I say you can be as positive as you want to be, do all the hard work, and you still face even more hurdles. But that's life, right? I'd rather your positivity than than any other way, to be fair.
Yeah. Honestly, if it wasn't for me having to come to this truth about this cancer diagnosis, I wouldn't be on this live right now. I honestly wouldn't. I'll still be hiding. I'll still be trying to do it another way, because this is the one thing that I did not want to do. I felt so comfortable in those audio rooms because I had a voice and nothing else mattered. It was just my voice. You guys met me through a voice. And so I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have had a reason to. But then when I started seeing, as my sons are getting older, especially like my 20-year-old, there's so many things that he's missing that I can't always give him in real time, because he still has to learn certain things in his own way. And I have to be okay with that he's learning at his own pace. But if I get very transparent about what life really is, one thing I know about my kids is they watch everything that I post. So I never post anything crazy, because my kids are always watching me. And so I post for them intentionally, because I want them to, if I know that you may be watching nonsense the rest of the time on the internet, I know if you watch me, then you're going to get the positivity that I need you to have. And so that plays a huge role in all of this, and my whys, and, getting here to today. Like, it had certain things have to happen for something really good to happen, even if they're unfortunate.
It's true. Look, thank you everyone that's here. Michelle, thank you so much. I love it's a conversational comments feed. It makes my day. Ollie's thinking, how do I keep up with all that? Good luck, right? Ollie.
Jay, what's been going on with you? I the days that I could catch it, I would catch your room, and your room is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So I'm continuing to do story time with Jay and friends on Saturdays. Every other Wednesday, I have storytelling strategies, and my co-host is Erskine, and so that's what I've been doing as far as LinkedIn is concerned. Annie and I partnered up. He was my publisher for a minute, continues to be my publisher. Stuff is going to be coming out in the future, but finally published my book, The Rules of Engagement in Storytelling. And there's some things to come in the future with regards to that. 2025, we're going to be doing some things. Man, Coach K, I remember coming into your room on a Sunday, not expecting what happened to happen. But I think one of the things that endeared me to you was just the fact that you were real, right? And the fact that you were vulnerable at some points in the conversation. And that vulnerability allowed other people to feel comfortable in theirs so that they could share their stories with you, including me, right? And I think every once in a while, sometimes there would be my vulnerability, right, that would come through. But I think what we have in common is once we recognize what that vulnerability is, we address it. And we address it because we want other people to see that there's opportunities and ways of dealing with those vulnerabilities. And I think that's going to help you a long way. So cancer has touched my life in many ways. My elders have experienced it. And I choose to look at the lessons and the positivity of those issues that came. F cancer. Right? I hate it. Some of the things, practical things that I learned. So my mom had breast cancer, and I was looking for opportunities to help her everywhere I could. And I went to, I called a cancer treatment center. And the long story is she wasn't eligible to get treatment there. But the person on the phone wanted to give me any bit of advice that he could. And the thing he said was, if you hear anything, if anything stays with you, make it this thing I'm about to tell you. And I said, okay, what is it? He says, I'm a cancer survivor. I said, oh, okay. It's in remission. I've passed that mark. I said, okay. And he said, your mom can get through this. The thing that helped me was, and this is practical information, I cut out all the sugar in my diet. I said, really? Is that a thing? Is that really a thing? He said, let me tell you, my brother also, during the time that I was going through cancer treatment, also was diagnosed with cancer. I gave him the same advice I'm giving you. Sadly, I'm here and he's not, because he chose not to listen. Now, I'm not a physician, and I'm just sharing with you what this gentleman shared with me. He said, there's evidence that this is true, like it feeds on it. But I'm saying that because you will find that strangers, people off the street, if you're willing to share your story with them, they have a story to tell too, and they want to be able to help you with whatever it is you're going through. But you have to be in a space where that's possible. And you've made spaces like that possible. And so has Annie, so has Ollie. And I like to think I do that too. When we share our stories like you have, it shows our humanity. Keep saying this over and over and over again, more so lately, because I want people to hear it. It's the reason why I wrote this book. The more I shared my story, the more I realized that there are similarities in all of us, all across the globe, wherever we're at, more so than our differences, because we all know pain, we all know suffering, we all know joy, we all know love, all of the things that humans experience, the emotions. And so when you allow that to happen in your rooms, when you allow that to happen in your life, things tend to happen. So my mom, even after getting the diagnosis for stage 4, aggressive breast cancer, continued to have a life 4 years after that. She chose to fight. She chose to fight. Now, you know my tornado story. Many people do. The second half of that was, I was asking God, why? Why, God? Why me? Why am I going through this? And a year later, I found out. Because my mom encouraged me to pray for my situation. I was able to pray for her in the time she needed it the most, transitioning to her new life. Those are the lessons I learned. The positivity I choose to embrace over the negativity. And if you make the choice, there's so much more ahead of you. Again, I'm a storyteller, so I was looking for stories. Why did this happen? Especially to my mom. A beautiful, loving woman. And so over the years, I've gained some knowledge about how people have survived a cancer diagnosis. Epigenetics is one of them. Quantum healing is another. The same thing that helps 4-foot-nothing moms lift an entire vehicle to save their child is the same thing that can help cancer survivors be survivors and not victims. The choice my mom made. The will to survive. Human beings have the power to heal themselves. And this is not just BS. There are studies out there that prove it without a shadow of a doubt.
I believe you. Like, I appreciate you so much more than words can say. I was listening to you talk, and I have this picture of my grandparents that's on the bar. I'm gonna grab it real quick so I can show it to you, because when you speak, it's almost like my grandfather is still here with me. And one of the few memories I have, one of the few good memories I have from my childhood, because I don't have a lot of positive memories from my childhood. And it's not that I have a bunch of bad ones. I just don't remember a lot. There was not a lot to remember. But one of the things that I do remember would be like my grandfather telling me stories. I don't know if you guys could see this because my camera is froze. Are you able to see this?
No, your camera is frozen. You might have to refresh your screen and then
Refresh
join
the
again.
screen. Okay. This was not supposed to be about me today. My intention was to make it about networking and the kids, and then it's just like I get in this space with you guys and I get so comfortable because it's like you guys feed off my vulnerability and I feed back off yours. And so my oldest son, he jokes about it all the time. It's like it's like you got this
Oh,
Whoops. She's gone. She
No,
will be back.
I mean, no, so yeah, she'll be back in a second. I'm sure. Yeah. I think the health thing is always a hard conversation to have, right? I don't know how.
Yeah.
I would share such information with anyone really. I'm here.
This, yeah.
So when I go off
This
screen, I
session,
don't disappear.
yeah. This session is touching my heart deeply because I have other stories.
But I think it takes a lot to show up and share your stories. Like when social media. We're used to sharing good stories. Essentially people type that thing that I guess Henry Stevenson calls the LinkedIn effect, where everyone turns up to look glorious. They're looking for more glorious than they really are. But so when you have this, it's in question. I think it's a hard one. And everyone I see who's ever done it, they have a very hard time. So I do admire, your bravery, Jay, your bravery, Coach K, as well. And it's I'm just reading a book that I'm apparently going to republish, or at least relaunch. Someone's cancer story. And I guess the message in that one is believe in God, and God will take care of you. Refuse the medication, refuse chemotherapy, refuse radiotherapy, and you wonder. I wonder anyway. What is the right way? Is there a right way? Would I say to someone, truly, take your chances, see what happens? I don't think I would. Really, and I think I don't know. So again, I'm fully understanding that. Those treatments don't always give the best results because of their side effects. I think if you look,
and there is also a lot to tap into natural, like Ayurveda or other natural remedies. Of course, I'm not here to say avoid this or that, but I think also to have the power of tapping into God and faith and prayer, and it helps our energy to vibrate. And of course, it's also to add to simple rules to look, to make peace with our body, because it's our body to tell us, oh, there's something wrong. There is and it's okay, what I did wrong. And so maybe I was eating too much meat or too much sugar or too much toxic things. We never know. So it's about tapping into possibilities, and also to not let defeat drown our energy, because we receive what we emit. So if we already think that we will lose the battle, there is half chance that we'll lose the battle for sure.
And there's all these studies out there, and I'm saying the same thing, right? Don't do things that may potentially lead to something else, right? Some other issues. But if you combine several things, right? So the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, they have what they would call a holistic approach, right? So they include dietary, changes. They include spirituality, whatever that is. It's not just Christianity, it's whatever it is you believe. They incorporate that into practical medicine that's being used today, technologies, the latest advancements, all of those things combined can be an army of defense and offense against the scourge of stupid cancer. I want to say another word, but it's being recorded. But that's the thing. It's like we don't necessarily have to get to the point where we're having to do those things with issues that are traumatic. We can start doing those things now. Right. And if people out there don't believe that dietary changes can help you, I have diabetes. Let me tell you, dietary changes can help you. Yes, it's change, and nobody likes that. But if it allows you to continue to be where you need to be, and this is what I was going to get to. Hopefully, Coach K can come back soon. But what I wanted to say was, she didn't want it to be about her. It's not necessarily about her. It's about her wanting to help others. And so I want to be there to encourage her to continue to do the things that she needs to do and wants to do. And so on this journey, there are going to be people out there much better than I am to be able to help her along.
I think it'll take all of us. It'll take everyone.
Yes.
To provide the support that anyone needs. It can't be on anyone.
All energies are welcome.
Yeah. She's taking long to get back in, but maybe her device it's not restarting as quick as we would like.
Yeah. What I'm really grateful is to know Coach K, that she is still alive, she is still fighting, and we never know whatever it's you, Annie, or UJ, or me, or anyone. We never know what is the battles that are fighting people, unless they are telling. But even if they are telling, we just know probably a fragment, like 15, 20%, because we are not in their shoes, and we do our best to connect to them. And I feel really touched and overwhelmed when she talked about taking a legacy for kids, because it reminds me, and I will be short, but about my story. My mom passed away of brain cancer in 1989. And then 1 year later, my dad came to partner with who I call my second mom, Liliane. And Liliane was a kindergarten school teacher. She began her career in 1966. And she retired in 2002. And during 36 years, she was helping more than 1,000 of children from the kindergarten to raise. 36 years of her life was dedicated to school, to these little kids of 3, 4, 5 years old before going to 6. And then she had cancer. And she survived. But at the same time, there was another thing in her life that was really detrimental for her health, because she was alcoholic and she couldn't get rid of her bottle of wine. And then my dad and her decided to go outside of the city of Brussels, and I was on my own. And then in 2007, I was. My dad told that she passed away from a heart attack, and I realized that I was not seeing her as often as I should. She was kind of a second mom, and she impacted me. She was sometimes difficult because of her alcoholism, but she changed my life. And one thing is that 6 months before, or 1 year before her passing, she was selecting not white wine, but whiskey for alcohol. And this make her heart not taking the load. So I'm happy to have shared this story. And now we are back with Coach K and with, I don't know who, because I don't see the names. But,
That's
welcome.
Michael. So Michael's
Michael.
here. Welcome back,
Michael.
Coach K. I thought we'd lost you.
Oh my God, don't say that right now. I'm here. You see, I wore this shirt on purpose just for you, Annie.
No, I'm more concerned about your laptop or your computer not restarting.
No, I just, you know what? I think I've like the most with this one. So luckily I had a backup one. Like,
okay.
Always have a backup plan.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome back.
I was just
Please,
happy that you
on.
guys kept going because I'm like, please don't go dormant. Just keep talking.
We have to keep talking.
yeah.
Don't worry. No,
We are good at that, especially Eddie. Eddie's good at talking.
Oh, I gotta get these streamed back to the other devices. Oh, but like, so this was the picture I was trying to show you, Jay. These are my grandparents that I lost my grandpa when I was about 8 years old. But he was, dare I say, my favorite. Every time he saw me, he just saw all of me. He was never afraid to say it. He was a military guy, and he had like all these tattoos and would just tell me stories. Like I would sit on his lap. He had this box of cigars with Cormex in it. And I remember climbing up the bookcase as if it was a ladder to get his box for him. And then I'll jump down. And so it's like those memories that you tap into when I hear you, when I come and you're doing like the different voices with the Jay Storytime and Friends. And I'm like, it makes me feel like I'm sitting there and listening to my grandfather. And I'm just like, oh my God, I never thought that I would feel this feeling again. And you gave me that feeling back. And so it's like whenever I can try to, whenever I can make it, I'm going to make it because to show as like a fast for myself. And just because of like all the things that I'm going through. And I have a low tolerance for a lot of things right now. So it's like taking these steps that I'm taking, it's allowing me to do what I need to do for real. But I'm going to double down on it by going into like 90 days of isolation, where the only time I'm interacting with people is when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So it looks like doing things that are good for me, which may be coming to your room and just having that moment. And so I'm going to communicate with people throughout these 90 days, but they'll primarily be on lives. And if I'm always live, then I'm always creating content. My message is always having the opportunity to impact somebody. And so when I have my rooms, I'll go more into this. Like I feel like it's my own art of networking, that it's just about connecting. It's about showing up and doing what you say you're going to do for people that are like truly in alignment with you, because helping them is helping you. Like people need to understand that. It's not just like that's what mutually beneficial looks like. I had so many rooms. I was hoping you came today, but I wasn't for sure that you were going to make it just because life happens. I don't have this room often, and I always do it last minute. And so there's several reasons why I didn't know if I would see you, but I'm just so freaking happy that you came, because I needed to let you know what you do for me for real. Like you really people need to know how they impact you, not at a eulogy at their freaking funeral. Give me all my flowers now. I'm not that humble. Like I've been being humble for a very long time, but I know who I am. I understand what I do for other people. So to go through a long period of time where I'm like, when you guys were there for me, I was stuck in my apartment for 3 months and I didn't know anything about this cancer or whatever, I'm like, I'm starving to death. I'm losing weight because I'm starving. And people forgot that I was here this same time last year where people were overcooking and overeating. I couldn't get a plate dropped off to me. I couldn't get an Uber Eats sent to my door. And I'm just like, am I really going to die here like this? You know, my mom was able to come for a month, but then I had 2 months of figuring it out with my 6-year-old goddaughter. And it's like, all I know is as a mom, I'm not going to miss a beat. If I got to pay people to pick her up and get her to school every day and on time, and we have to maneuver things different, then that's what we're going to do so that she doesn't lose her childhood because of what I'm going through. And so, like, that's just how serious I am about kids. Like, she went back to her biological family last month. And so, of course, I went and got like 15 more kids to prove a point to. But one thing that I noticed about me is that as long as I have kids near me, I'm going to always do what I'm supposed to do because they're looking at me. They're learning. And so, in spite of whatever curveball life throws at me, they're not going to see me give up because I never want to see any of them give up at the end of the day. And the information that you were mentioning, that was exactly what I needed. Like, I called, I stay by, was it MD Anderson, and I'm Uber driving, and people are like, oh, this is the number one in the country. And I'm like, oh, well, I have 2 insurances, but I called and I'm ineligible. I finally made the call and I got turned down. And I'm like, shit, well, one insurance, the copay, I can't afford it right now. The other insurance, their process is so messy that I've tried to go 3 times and not even got seen by a doctor. And so I'm just like, and I see all these other doctors that for all this other stuff I have going on. And it's like, how is this a thing that nobody even told me? And I've seen so many doctors over the last year that it is insane. But because it's not their thing or what they're looking for, nobody said nothing. And I'm like, but it's one body. It's one body. Like, how's the system so messed up that y'all not talking to each other? Like, y'all just gonna give me all this medicine and I'm just gonna take it and then get more problems? That don't make sense to me.
Let me tell you, you ain't the only one going through that. I have a GP, general practitioner doctor, right? I go to for my diabetes. I go to him and I'm like, so I've heard the keto diet can do this and this and this, and it can help me with that. And he said, well, you're going to have to speak to, another doctor about that. Somebody who's, more versed in the dietary, requirements if you have diabetes. And I was like, wait a minute, you're a doctor, right? You're treating me for diabetes. And if this thing can help me with my diabetes, why don't you know about it? And why can't you talk to me about it? And give me some recommendations. And you're going to palm me off to somebody else? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not my specialty. So it's we don't talk about it. I have other maladies that I deal with, skin stuff, right? Like psoriasis and eczema.
Oh, I used to have eczema really bad.
Yeah. And so I was like, yo, doc, can you help me with that? He was like, yeah, you're going to have to talk to a dermatologist. What? Wait a minute. You can't prescribe me anything. You can't help me, treat me. You're general practitioner.
You can't suggest nothing?
Yeah, no, nothing. He was like, yeah, I stay in my lane. I'm like,
you know what? That's what I think is wrong with most of my doctors, because if they open up this can, now they're attached to it. Like, if I open this can, now my hand is on it and I don't know, like, that's what I feel like. And so, like, the other big thing about this community is, outside of overdosing people and self-love affirmations, I I also plan to show people how to advocate for themselves. Like that's what this is about, because at the end of the day, we do have to save ourselves, but you don't have to save yourself by yourself if we're on similar missions, you know? And that's what it seems to be about, that I'm still getting clarity on, because the other thing behind the accident that I had is my mind is also working against me. My world got turned upside down, and then my mind has did this flip. And so, like, the way that I teach my class is because I've been having hard times writing and articulating sometimes, or it's just so much going on in my mental. You know what I mean? And so this is me just like taking a step back and understanding, my value, because I'm like, wait, I actually do know other high value people. I met them on LinkedIn. That's why I went to LinkedIn. Like, I couldn't pick better people to be doing this with, because you guys, Michael is new for me, but Ollie and Jay, you guys have been here from like day one for me. And so, I'm happy that in this moment, like after I switched computers, it cut everybody else off. And I'm so happy about it, because everything works in my advantage. And so they're going to have to go to YouTube to watch the rest of this video. And I want to make sure that you guys link all your channels, so that I could thank you guys for even coming up on stage to hopefully get you more viewers and people looking at this and say, he made a lot of sense. And who don't know somebody that's got cancer at this point? Because we've been getting poisoned for so long that everybody's kind of messed up for the sake of not getting the video banned. And so it's like, I've been out trying to save the world, not realizing there's so much poison in my own backyard that this made me sit down and take a look at me. Because one thing that I realized, I had a really good friend of mine that I met during esthetician school. We were making plans for her to visit me here in Texas and with her kids, and the next minute she was gone. I didn't even know she had cancer. Most people go out. Like, I really feel like not talking about it takes you out, because it's like you're not even speaking out to get the help that you need. Like, me just saying something about it today was not my intention. I intended to brush over it like I did at the beginning. And then it was kind of like the Holy Spirit is like, you think I'm playing with you, girl? I said, say what you need, because if you don't say what you need, then nobody can help you. Nobody can push you if you just need a push. Like, I got back into my dad's life recently just to push him to go to the doctor, only to find out he has cancer. And then when they got in there, it's like way worse than they thought it was. And it's like, the main reason I didn't know that's why I was reaching out to him. I reached out to him because a year ago, my therapist said I resented him, and I didn't know I did. And I'm like, I don't resent my dad. I don't have a relationship with him so much, but I know who he is, and I wish him well, and I love him, and I check on him occasionally. But then I started hearing this voice in my head that's like, your dad is still here, and you can't go back, and whatever he did didn't matter, because I was not hurt by my father. My parents just got a divorce. And so I just felt forgotten about. And so I lacked that protection in that area, And so I what do they call it? I subconsciously did resent him, but I didn't know I did, because I never acknowledged it. And so once I acknowledged it, I'm like, well, I don't want to say nothing about it, because he's going through this. And then it's like, I realized I don't have to say anything about it. I just got to acknowledge it to me. I don't have to go put that weight on him while he's fighting that fight. I acknowledged it to me, and I could honor the fact that he's still here and that I can still talk to him. And I'm not thinking of him the way that I think of my grandparents. And so me seeing my dad again, like just talking to him on the phone and video, it made him want to go to the doctor. And when he went to the doctor, that's when he found out. But I didn't realize that I was pushing him only to push me. Because when I finally went to the doctor, I found out the same thing almost. And I'm just like, what am I? Can you really not say the F word on YouTube and LinkedIn on here? Because, I mean, there's just no other word to describe it, but you guys got it now. Like, cause that's what I really want to say. It's like some stuff is like, I'll pass this message on and I'll give my testimony, but you gotta let me cuss still. I won't say GD, but
who's gonna stop you? What are they gonna do?
ban my video, and I don't have time for that. I gotta get this word out.
They can't ban you. They won't ban your video for you know.
Oh, well then fucking great if that's the case. Because sometimes saying that just makes me feel better. I've grown up hearing that word so much that to just say it, it's like glad I got that out. Because it's only appropriate in so many situations. That's why I'm like, God, you made me teach little kids after I didn't even ask to be a teacher. In fact, I specifically said I don't want to teach because I didn't like the salaries. And so I didn't mind teaching. I just didn't want to live that lifestyle per se. But then after finally doing it, I'm like, oh wait, this is cool. And I met some really amazing, beautiful women at the school that I was working at. There's two in particular, one that reminded me of my kindergarten teacher, and another one that's a 5th grade teacher that I saw like present me if this was another time. And I didn't have to focus on what I have to focus on right now. I saw myself in her. And so like, as I get the help I need, I look so forward to just like surprising the shit out of these two ladies. Like just really love bombing them one day and just like showing them the impact that they don't just have on these kids, that they really had on me. Because it's like, you know what? Until I go out, I'm going to be a teacher and a student. And so they awoke that part of me that I didn't even know existed. I never thought I could be a teacher. And like, I appreciate the opportunity that the school district and that school gave me, because they really did welcome. I felt welcome, there. And so, and I saw the beauty in the program of what they were trying to do. Most people haven't stopped to see the big picture that the program that allowed me in to teach these kids, it teaches kids life skills, creative life skills, and it like they're getting pounded with having to learn so much work from being behind for so long that they need an outlet. And so the class I taught became their outlet. Like it's been such a beautiful journey. Like I look forward to those kids like finding these videos and just like knowing what an impact they had on me, because they're so honest about the impact that I had on them, and they allow me to see it in 3D. And so to move forward and be able to teach this my own way around the world, like learning, getting healthy, like I'm going to probably take the holistic route. I want to go see doctors. I'm going to reach out to the place that you mentioned today. I guess I'm going to call them today because I keep putting stuff off. But I'm going to call them today. But then my plan is to go a holistic route. I need to just know where I'm at so I know what I'm dealing with. And then from there, I can like move around and just get the help I need, because thank God that I've met some amazing people around the world that have less pesticides on their food and don't let bad things into the country. Because when our candy from the US goes into London, it's marked up. Like you can't, I heard that there's like, I watch videos of stores that's like, if you eat this, understand that it's almost like buying a pack of cigarettes. There's warnings all over it. And so I look forward to being and hanging out and doing these lives in countries that I could like just like live in and connect with more people, find out more holistic methodologies. And I took these 2 online courses that I believe should help people that are like following me and looking to learn more. I took a I got a natural pathology and some sort of this neuro course about rewiring the brain because I feel like something has happened with my mental for sure. And so the course teaches you how to rewire your brain. I'm heavy into like reading self-help psychology stuff. So
I'm gonna share with you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a gentleman, Joe Dispenza. He talks about quantum healing all the time. He talks about epigenetics all the time. Here's this guy who
I follow him on YouTube.
There you go. So you know his story then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know the beginning though.
Oh man, so he crashed. He was on a bike and he crashed. And they told him he will never ever walk again. Like the doctors gave him a prognosis like, dude, your life is over.
Mm-hmm.
And in the hospital, he was like, I ain't going out like this. And he rewired his brain.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him, what he's doing? You see what he's doing now? He's walking, talking, doing what he needs to do. But somewhere in his brain,
mm-hmm.
he moved things around so that he could walk again.
So you know, I'm doing a ton of research about the brain. Like, okay, you want to hear another mind fuck that I got this year? So, I go to get an MRI done on my head because I keep saying something's wrong with my mind, my mental is off, something's not right. And imagine somebody saying, "Oh, your pituitary gland is like missing," and I'm like, well, where the fuck did it go? Because how is it missing? It's supposed to be in my brain. And they're like, I don't see. No, at first it was some other thing. We got the MRI after. And so it was like, she said, you know what? I'm going to tell you what she said. I sent this to my paralegal. I'm not going to tell you what that lady said because I don't want to get her ass in trouble. But I'm going to tell y'all what she said in the group somewhere. Join the group so I could talk freely. But just imagine somebody telling you that something that's supposed to be here is missing and then just leaving you with that. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the side effects, or what do I do next? Or how can I fix it? How can I heal it? Like, if it's supposed to be there and it's supposed to be like this, it serves more than one function of just controlling my hormones. They say it controls your hormones, but the pituitary gland, but it's like, it's squished. They like, it's not gone, because if it was gone, you'll be dead. And I'm like, but if you can't see it and it's so squished, then what the fuck does that mean? Like, that's why I'm like, yeah, I had to walk away from that job and say, like, by all means, put it out there, throw it on YouTube, make it work for you. Don't let it own you, so that I can monetize everything that I do to get the help and the treatment that I need. And I'm still going to help these kids.
And I think I wanted to jump in a long time ago.
Go ahead.
I wanted to give you the grace. This is your show.
It's okay. I like actual conversations. That's the thing about this, that I'm okay with it.
Man. So when you said this is not about you, it was about the kids and what you, Kim, it's about you. Because without you, you won't be able to help those kids.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
I know. Yeah, but you gotta hear it. You gotta hear it.
I do.
Without you, who's gonna help them kids? The way
nobody, for real. Nobody showed up that first fundraiser. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm talking about giving y'all a free babysitter. And nobody's showing up?
Yeah.
That's
And
a
that's
problem.
Hold on. Whilst you two are talking, there's many comments that are not showing up on our screen. I don't know why. So Michael Rivers, a good friend of ours, he says, if I may, Dr. Paul Hopkins in Philadelphia, who teaches alternative-based healing.
Tell Michael I said come here because we were supposed to be doing some work together in the schools. And now that I'm no longer at the school that I was at, he needs to come on live and help me understand.
Michael, if you want to come to the studio, let me know. So I'll
I intentionally sent him a link.
Okay. So I'm going to share the link in the comments again. Hopefully you see it. If you see it, then copy and paste that link, the StreamYard link, into your browser, and it'll bring you up on stage. So
okay, Jay, I'm sorry. This is me in person for real. I'm like this all the time where it's like, I was telling somebody yesterday, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to go. I get up and I drive Uber every morning. Like I would drive before school. I get up at 4:00, drive for maybe 2 to 3 hours, then go teach 5 classes at school. And then I may drive again after school just to try to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I would have done it as long as I had to, if it meant that what I was doing was working and making sense and that, this goal would have been met. But if it's, that I realized, I'm like, I can't keep at this. Like it's becoming more and more apparent that I got to get some freaking help. Like I didn't want any help.
Mm.
And I just told somebody this morning, like I'm talking to you guys and I'm really talking to myself because I literally called a very, very, very dear friend of mine that lives in London that you guys know. And I'm like, I know you don't want to hire any help, but you need to get some help. And so I didn't realize I was talking to her and talking to myself, at the same time, because we are two stubborn, amazing women.
Yeah.
That need help.
You're right. And that's the thing. You got it. You have to be in the mindset to accept help. And when you're not, it can be detrimental to you. Let me tell you a couple of stories real quick. Mm-hmm. So my wife was sick. Like we had to be in the hospital, get admitted sick. Mm-hmm. And she was getting medicine. And she was sitting there and she started scratching. She said, man, I know they said at the spot it's going to heat up, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to feel hot as soon as the medicine hits. But now I'm feeling kind of just itchy. And maybe it's just part of the process. Then she started getting hives. I was like, you need to press that button. You can call the nurse, press that button. And she said, no, I don't want to bother them. It's late at night. Let's just see what it does. I said, there's no chance that we're going to wait to see what happens. I need you. Listen, I'm going to grab that button. And I grabbed the button. I said, say what you need to say right now. You need to advocate for yourself, because what if I'm in the bathroom or doing something? I'm not here.
All right.
What's going to happen? I need you to speak up. I need you to press that button when you need to press that button. Right now, you need to press that button. Long story short, she's allergic to this stinking medicine.
That's what I'm like. That sounds like an anaphylaxis reaction.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it was. And so she had to get medicine for the medicine. Anyway.
That's why I'm so biased against the medicines, because it's like I read the fine print on everything people give me.
Oh, yeah. But
so many people have gotten messed over by not reading the fine print across the board in every industry that I got to read the fine print. And you got to say something.
Absolutely. The other thing was my dad. One day, it's been a while since I've seen him. I'm video chatting with him. And in the middle of it, he's dozing off. And I'm like, why is he dozing off? But he's like humming to himself like he's in pain. I'm like, this ain't my dad. What is going on? And my brother, he lives with my brother. And I was like, dude, that's not dad. Yeah, he's just not feeling well, this and that. Long story short, I encouraged, that's a really mild word, but I encouraged my brother and my
Heavily
sister.
encouraged.
Yes. I encouraged my brother and my sister to take him to the hospital.
Yes.
ER. In the ER, they're like, oh yeah, we can't treat him. What? What do you mean you can't treat him? Yeah, his kidneys are functioning at 11%. You need to take him to another hospital. And I was like, y'all see? And my dad is just sitting there in pain every night. One, he's stubborn. I ain't going to go to the doctor. What are they going to do for me? I said, Lord, no, you need to go at least to get some sort of resolution, prognosis, diagnosis, figure out why you in pain. And then we'll go from there. You can refuse treatment or whatever, but we need to know what the heck is going on. Stop that. Let's do this. And it boils down to the fact that he told his doctor, his diabetic doctor, he's got diabetes, right? He told his diabetic doctor, and this is something that he told me in the past as well. Doc, I'm so old. It doesn't matter. I'm going to eat the way I want to eat. I'm going to go out happy. I was like, Lord, okay.
Gonna make you eat those words.
Exactly. And he did literally eat those words. I said, Lord, please.
I have a brother that's like that. And when you just mention it, it's like it's dawning on me the reality of how much I have to get my shit together. I want to go get a full body scan. I want to go and get everything tested on me from head to toe. So that I could really know everything, because every time I find out something, which I just now I have to get this MRI off my foot because something's not right with my foot that I had surgery on still. And so I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I'm steady telling people, and it's like, oh, wait, we'll do it when we get around to it 2-3 months later. And it's just like, okay, so y'all want to see what it takes me, what it looks like for me to advocate for myself? Are you sure you want to see that? Because I'm not going to trash or malice or get anybody in trouble. It's not about slandering nobody, but it's about telling my truth, because it's not a me thing. This is a systematic issue. It's so crazy that I remember meeting with the CEO of the hospital that I went to, because I talk like this everywhere I go. I'll sit in therapy. People will be walking in and I'm going to say what I want to say. And so he'd be like walking through with the investors and whatnot. And I was verbalizing the things that were wrong that I had found issue with, because I didn't want to put them in writing, because once you put something in writing, then it's a different ball game. And my intent was not to hurt or anything. It was to help solely. And so I gave him my information and my digital card, and he goes on and he said, well, why they call you Coach K? I don't see anything. I don't see any sports on your page. And I say, oh, because I talk like the coaches talk. And if you need help getting your shit together, I will coach you into getting your shit together, but I do it for business. And that's my business. And he's like laughed and walked out, because he didn't understand what I was truly saying. And so I've slowly, when I was at a point of stability, I could show people like, okay, let me put this portfolio together so they could see, well, let me do this. Okay, well, I'll open my Instagram, because I don't post everything everywhere. So that's one technique in marketing that I'm going to share with people in the future rooms. Like, what I post on LinkedIn is not what I'm posting on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. I post for the platform and for the audience that I want on that platform. And I'm cognitive, and I read the room that I'm in before I just do something. It will work that you could put the same thing on every single platform, but that's not really how it works, because everybody on some people those platforms are designed for certain things, and people need to understand the reason of why that platform was designed so you can understand the game you playing on that platform. You can't take these rules over there and think that they're going to work the same. It won't. And so the way this new mind of mine works is, so you see how it just like, I'll take something and it'll all spider out and turn into business. I don't even know what to expect at this point. But I'm definitely going to not back down on advocating for myself by any means necessary. I am going to speak my truth and get the help that I need from wherever I got it.
Yes, and I was thinking also to check multiple sources, to not only rely on one source, because it's really important to have multiple sources of information. And one study I would like to say also is to be curious. Will be a short story, but there is also Skip Archimedes from the book Forever Young, and I was discovering him 4 years ago. It's a bit like Joe Dispenza, but he was a bit like doing crazy things, like jumping out of a cliff, and he broke his back because he was not evaluating the deepness of the place that he is going to land. Yeah, and so he was paralyzed. He was not able to stand up and to move. But then all the doctors said, "Oh, it's not possible. We'll not be able to stand up and do." But I'm going to do it. I have a show in 2 weeks. I'm going to do it. And so he was curious also because he was meeting a couple, and there was a dog that was jumping everywhere. This dog. And was thinking, what happened to this dog? It's really crazy. Oh, this dog was really bad. He was broken, and then he came to a vet. And the dog was able to jump again. That's it. Let me go to the vet. And so the vet was taking, it's really crazy, but the vet was taking him, going to his shoulder, and then boom, and then he was able to stand up and that's an amazing story. Skip Archimedes. Feel free to discover. Thank you.
I want to check that out. I'm going to look into I got to get the whole Joe Dispenza thing, because quantum healing jumped into my mental when my son became paralyzed in 2015. I started looking and researching for ways. Like at that time, I made myself a stay-at-home mom, and I was just like, I kind of nose dove into like things about paraplegia. And so quantum healing came up, and it's like, oh my God, if this don't come full circle on so many levels. But if there was ever a person that I could travel the world and try to heal with, it would be my son. And if I could get my hands on the right thing, because he works remotely, I know he and his girlfriend would be open to, doing what it takes to see if he can get his life back, if it's possible, because there was a time that I held on to this something. I don't know the word to put on it, because it wasn't a grudge. He was in an accident back in 2015, a year after we got to Dallas Fort Worth, and he was ejected out the back of a pickup truck. And there was 5 kids in the truck, and he and his friend were ejected out when the driver lost control and hit a tree. And so he was with his best friend at the time, but his best friend, he was like a Hispanic kid, and he was a little bit thicker. So they both fell. The first time his friend put his arm up and he stopped my son from coming out. But then the second time they both flew out. So his friend broke his back, but he had so much cushion that it was able to like naturally heal. Well, my son was very tall, very thin, and his spinal cord, his spine ripped inward and ripped his spinal cord. And so from my understanding, it was like it can't repair itself in one lifetime. But like now, because technology is becoming so advanced, and there's so many, the quantum healing, and like there's just so much new stuff out there, I understand that there actually is a possibility for my son to possibly walk again in his lifetime. And so as I continue to tell my story and sharing different things of that nature, I'm going to share bits of his story that I know he'll be okay with, because anything that would help him, he's, we're willing to try, because my kids is all I have. It's me and my 3 boys. That's why I sat here today, and I let our family picture be my background, because this is what's real for me. They who matter. Like the community that I'm building is so that I know that my kids will be safe. Like I felt like at one point I did a great job. I finally gave myself the credit for going from teenage mom to just great mom. Like I'm proud of all 3 of my boys. And I'm like, I finally did it. And then after I did it and I thought it was like my time to rest, and I'm hearing this early empty nester syndrome, I'm like, my God, I created these kids that the world are not ready for. So if I don't if I don't try to help the world get its shit together, my kids may not be just free to live free. They Black men from America, And so it's like I have to do what it takes for me, like you said, Jay. Like I always tell you that you in your present form, where you're not the voices, you're really like a brother that I never had. Like you literally look like some of my people. And so sometimes we all just need to hear that voice that say, hey, it's about you. I understand that those kids are important, but it's actually about you, and you not being afraid to tell me that. Some people, because of the moment, the moment, I understand a moment is emotional. And so some people think it's the polite thing not to check me on it. And it's like, well, I will check you on it, because you can't speak bad about yourself. You can't count yourself out in front of me. So I need people around me that's going to tell me the truth in spite of how it makes me feel. One thing about me is, even if I don't like it, I'm going to always respect the truth. Like now I get it why people say, my brother, his friends, he says friends tell him, your sister is real as fuck. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Ain't everybody real? And I realized that everybody ain't.
Can I say one more thing? I know I've taken up a lot of time, but I want to.
No, you haven't, because you talking to me, and I'm not. I turned off all my comments. I disconnected.
Hold on. We have to hear from Michael.
So,
there's 2 Michaels on stage now, so let's hear from the first Michael. Michael,
okay, wait. I gotta turn my camera off, but I'm listening, please, because I'll talk, because I just don't want dead air.
No, turn your microphone off rather than your camera. So, Michael, what do you want to share with us?
Let the other Michael go first.
But the other Michael just joined, so you're naturally the next one, my friend.
That's okay. Let him go ahead.
He's not on stage yet.
He's not? Okay.
No.
I'm listening to the conversation, and really, Coach K, anything I can do for you, just let me know. I'm not so sure. My dad is going through something similar right now, and he's all the way out in Addis Ababa. Not Addis Ababa, but he left from Uganda to go to Kenya to get this pancreatic cancer taken care of. It's really hard to know that someone who's close by you, or who your parent is having such a difficult time, and you're all the way out here, and you're unable to go and assist him or show him any assistance. I mean, Jay, I can get a correlation or understanding. Jay is all the way wherever he was when he called his dad, and he talked to his dad, and then he saw that his dad was not feeling well. It's kind of the same situation. Right now, he's undergoing tests. At the same time, he's also undergoing some sort of, they're giving him some injections to, see how he responds, but not going into full-blown surgery because they're afraid of how he would come out in the recovery. I hate cancer. I really detest the way they actually have figured out how to operate it, how to fix it, how I think that it's I've got a very, very bad vibes about it. And frankly, I'll do whatever it takes to help you, um, and also see to it that um, you're able to get your message across to the children that you want to get your message to. I understand and I feel the pain that you're going through. I also understand and I feel the emotions that are running through you. Um, I do apologize for the fact that you had to grow up the way you had to grow up. Um, I really do apologize for that.
It's okay.
Take
I
care.
never saw it as a bad thing. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, when life is just life and you accept what it is, you don't, I'd never compare myself to people to see it as bad. Like, I was so blessed. Like, I grew up uh, in spite of what I didn't have, I did have a roof over my head. I didn't grow up in deep poverty. I never went to bed hungry. I didn't experience hunger till a year ago. That's probably why I lost so much weight. But like, I've had so many things to be grateful for. And even though I don't have many childhood memories, I didn't hold on to the bad ones. Whatever was bad, I let it go. And I literally only clung to the few good ones that I had. But it's like, when you focus on what you have versus what you haven't, the world itself becomes more beautiful because I realize you attract what you are. That's why, like, now I can't allow myself to be sad or fall into a dark place because it's like I know I'm very depression prone. I know that about me. I've had suicidal thoughts, not over this, just when I was about to, when my company was taking a turn for the not better. Oh, I thought when I was leaving my luxury apartment and everything, I thought that like life was over and I was useless and my kids were grown and they didn't need me. So it's like I know that darkness can linger if I don't stay connected to people like this. And so that's why I said I got so much to be grateful for. And there's so many people that I'll be like tuning in and interacting with like this, that I'll be sharing the good stories from my childhood, to help people stay more encouraged about holding on to what's good and not being afraid to let go of what's bad. Because if you hold those bad memories or just think that oh, I didn't have this, so my childhood was fucked up, then it's kind of like your world becomes that. Your current world becomes that. So it's like the bad stuff of the past. Don't feel sorry for me. Like, I had so many amazing experiences, and it's led me to be right here, right now with you guys. That I'm grateful for every single moment, every connection, and I'm even more grateful for every disconnection. Those are blessings. Those are bigger blessings because it's like, whew, dodge that bullet.
All right.
Got to look
Well,
at it like that.
I certainly appreciate your positivity. It's
Thank you.
very rejuvenating, and please continue to do so. I hope to continue being in touch with you. I'll send you a connect and
Thank
see
you.
what can be done in the future. Definitely, Jay, Ollie, Michael, and Annie, and also another person, Cyrus, people of wealth and knowledge, but more important, knowledge. Um, and also, they've got great empathy and heart and the right minds to get you where you need to be. There are also other people as well who haven't mentioned. They're great people. But in time, you shall meet them. I'm pretty sure you've probably already met them as well. But
If I haven't,
thank
I'm
you very much.
excited too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. All power to you.
Thank you. Michael Rivers, you're up.
Great energy. Great energy. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Hear you fine. We hear you fine.
All right. Um, this is like a a reintroduction for me personally, because first I want to give honor and praise to my creator and allowing me to see another day. I will never take any moment, day, week, whatever for granted anymore. And number two, my introduction, how I meet people, the principles of my why. Why am I standing in your face? Why am I in your ear space? What is it that I believe I can add value? And what value can I receive from each one of you? I have been shouting from the rooftops how thankful I am for this type of room, for this type of environment on this particular platform, because um, I don't see anywhere else on social media that's like these rooms. You know, this is like a safe haven. And just by happenstance, by me coming across the unique individuals that's on this stage right now, especially you, Kimberly. But prior to meeting you, Mr. Ennie, Leah Garcia, and so many others, I came with a full force, you know, ready to offer, but not really giving individuals a time to understand who I am, you know, my why and my purpose. And past experience, I realized not every good thing, not everything that glitters, not everything that shines and sounds, you know, ooh, you know, not everything might be good, you know. And first and foremost, I need to first acknowledge who I am and what I am. I am a public citizen. I call myself a public citizen. Others say returning citizen. I am somebody that have been behind the wall, in the system, confined for bad acts, you know, charged unmercifully, you know, embellished. But the thing is, I've learned lessons upon lessons, and I've been an asset to myself, but countless others that I have met along my journey. Together, you know, both sides of my field at 51 years young, a lot of people don't make it out the first time in. A lot of people don't make it out the second time in. But there's value all around us. And the value that I understood for myself was my own story. And for the longest, as many people as I talk to, whether it's judges and senators and prosecutors and cops, you know, people of all walks of life, some of the most reputable jobs, you know, people that have, you know, price spotless careers. But Mike, why? What's your story? Everyone wants me to put my story down in paper. Everyone wants it to be capsulized so they can all have it one place. But at the end of the day, I always see value in other people. And I love showcasing others. I love, as you see, you know, I jumped into this chat offering another person, Paul Hopkins. You know, do I have personal experience with him? Not firsthand, but I know his client. I know the person that he gave, you know, a swab of a mouth. And because of that swab, he was able to discern every single impairment and ailment that was wrong with that person. And then he put them on a strict diet. And that diet caused them to live 20 years plus. They're still living to this day. This man is, I can't sing enough praises about what he does and how he's able to, you know, translate the services that he provides. So when it comes to sickness, and when it comes to anyone that's suffering with a life-threatening or incurable illness, I point people to him like people point to Jesus. That man is nothing to play with. And when it comes to the services that I look to offer, I'm real as they come. I'm real to me, and I'm real to everyone that I spend time with. And what I was looking for was not just an opportunity for a one-stop shop with, you know, my own publishing, because there's people that trust me with their stories, people that's high up, that's celebrities that walk with a who's who list. They want to put their stuff in writing, but they don't trust everyone. And this is why this circle means something to me. And that's why you, Annie, stood out to me, because there's people that, you know, a who's who list, like, damn, Mike, how you get to them? And they're entrusting me with their story. What would that look like for this community? What would that look like? A shared space, a networking space, you know, where certain people's books, it's going to fly off it's going to fly off the rafters, you know, but, and others, you know, like yours, Ken, you know, places that I can see your books helping other people. And one of the first things that I offer to each one of y'all, each one that I've ever had the honor of interacting with, was an opportunity to share the same space with my children in Brooklyn, New York, from the principal that's offering me still, Mike, what you want us to do? Name it. My defectiveness and the reason why I am so behind in everything I try is because I try and do everything all at once. I'm not a one-stop shop anymore. I recognize my shortcomings. And Kim, when I first had the honor of hearing your voice, I thought that it was like from here to the sun to the moon and back again. And I was looking at, you know, us to be able to, I speak it, I think it, here it is, and then the words come, and then bang, bang, bang. But when you're not clear, and I'm not clear, I wasn't clear on what I needed to make certain things materialize. This is why it seemed like, yeah, he's a lot of talk, but where is he? I get distracted. I used to get distracted so easily. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to make sure that I stick and stay, finish one thing at a time, and that way you have another trail of successes instead of a lot of attempts. Because when we attempt at one thing, we're failing, not just for ourselves, but look how many people who put their trust and their hope in us. When we don't get back to them on time, when we don't follow up with them on time, we look like liars. And the last thing I ever want to be is a liar to myself, to my maker, and those that put trust in even sharing with me your name. You know, but touching on the last thing I say, not final, but the last, there is an opportunity that I've been sitting on that I wanted to offer, and it's still there. It's still available. You said, Kim, that you had a person that does hair. And I happen to know a man that owns 23 barbershops inside of Walmarts. And I made an informal pitch to this person to offer job placement. And instead of me offering a job for one person, he said he's looking for 100 barbers. So I have a template created for 100 stylists to have built-in positions. But not just that, it's going a step further. It's having an opportunity now to have a transportation, bike and or car, a budget for 6 months to a year, all communication devices, and a living space. That way, there's no such thing as what state you in. It's how soon can you start? How soon can you make the transition? That's where I am when it comes to me offering services. No more just lip service. The connections is there. Now it's just a matter of who we're going to bring together to seal this deal up. Because if you say, if I hear that Kimberly is in need of, or Annie is in need, or let's say foreclosure, he gets charged of fraud, God forbid, and you know, where is he going to go? How many people are going to say, yo, let's pray for him. Let's have a prayer service. I'm looking for somebody to say, yo, I got 3 houses in Connecticut. I got one in Florida. Hey, Annie, you can stay there because that's what was done to me. Why would I ever think doing less than what was given to me? So this is how I give back. This is how I make my voice heard. And this is how I add value to whatever room I'm blessed to be in. And at the end of the day, there's a listening party that I shared with you a while ago that I wanted to do. And a listening party is what this, I have a tape from the 80s and 90s that I used to edit from a pastor, very, very, very well known to generations, you know, my age and older. But these tapes are so exclusive, no one has copyrights over them. No one has publishing, because I did them. And we did them out of a studio. We didn't understand all of that technical stuff back then. But the one tape I have, I want to create a listening party with you and a select few, especially those, if you're willing on, especially you, Jay. I mean, you're very spiritual. This is this would be an amazing opportunity. But I have a professional studio in Philadelphia. I have tons of time. I just want to know, can we create the right room so we can bring the right energy and we can have the right outcome? So that way, no one is walking away from our rooms in lack. Because if we have to come back next week, next month, and we still hearing that somebody in this group is needing, I didn't do my job. And I'm going to say, hey, I got to do what I got to do now.
I don't know if this is too soon for you, Michael, but when you say stuff to me, I do like this.
Thank you.
When you open your mouth, that's what I expect, right? And so I was planning for New Year's Eve to do a New Year's Eve live, because I expected initially to be surrounded by family on New Year's Eve. And now that the family that I had is gone, it's just going to be me here. And I actually like it like that. And so my original plan was to do a live for like 4 hours, like leading up till midnight, so I could actually stay woke. And so I know if I'm like up talking to people, then I would do it. And so the original plan was I was going to play my 45s on the record player.
Wow.
And just, I do. So when my class is in action, it is the story of storytelling using photography and videography. And so I like to listen to songs, and the images that come in my head, I play them out as a video. And so it's almost like a combination of storytelling, video making, and just a difference in perspective. Because when we hear songs, we all hear different things based on whatever our childhood was.
Yeah.
And so I may use that. Send me the music, because we could, the idea behind it was people join the community today. So let me go ahead and do this pitch. We're 2 hours in, but I'm asking people to just donate, and and I put the donation link in these comments, I believe, but I can't see nothing. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but I put the donation link there. And what I want to happen is I want for the first invite to the members of the Adult Adventure Club is that I'm going to sell like 10 spots at, it'll be same style where you donate, but any donation over 100 gets you the admission, like to the stage or whatever. And then I'm going to link all my social media. They link all their social media. And instead of us all trying to pull the algorithms and people individually, we would all like link together, because I heard that this can take 10 people or whatnot. We would link together. I could put an ad campaign on it to boost it even more. So whatever it is that people are looking to get out there for New Year's Day, at the launch of the new year, we push the button together and drop whatever, products to move it through the algorithm.
You are so dope.
Thanks. Did we just lose him?
So, Paul, let's just join us. Hopefully, Michael will come back.
Paulette. You came to see me. I thought you were gonna hang in the comments, and I wasn't gonna pull on you if you didn't want to. But I'm happy to see your face.
This face is very tired, so I warn you. But I couldn't not come up and say that we've got you. Collectively and individually, we've got you. We always have had you. We've always seen you. We've always heard you. We've always valued you. And sometimes you forget those things, Kimberly. And I told you, and I've said it.
It's because I haven't been on LinkedIn. That's my problem.
Well, that's your fault, not mine. I've been here. Apparently, I've been living on it, according to Ben. But the point, you know how children get told off for using too much social media? He came home from uni and now it's me. Do you not think you've done enough on that today? Like, Ooh. So, I just want to say that whatever is needed, we need to all buy these £25 or £50 or £100. Whatever you can give, because not only are you helping the kids, you're helping out everybody in the situation, and everybody knows that anything that Kimberly finds out is going to be shared.
Literally.
Because that's who she
If it's
is.
helpful.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't share the bad stuff. If I share
the-
something bad, then I put the lesson learned from it.
yeah. If you're naughty, or I'm naughty, but no, the whole thing about the pituitary glands is where my tumor is, so I know all about the mess up that causes, and I have a horrible thing. They call it brain fog, and it's a really rubbish expression. But it's just like, if you imagine being as pissed as you've ever been, as drunk as you've ever been in your life, and then trying to perform normally and speak normally. That is how bad it can be. And that is really what this brain fog feels like. And on those days, you can't drive because you're too dangerous. You can't speak, let alone drive. A couple of red wines, Denny, and I was singing, and it was very scary for everybody. But the point I'm trying to make is that, we all have a part to play in putting our arms around you and saying that, you know what, there are a lot of people that say I'm their friend, but are they? Or is it just a word?
I
So
think
the
people use
answer
it
is,
loosely.
go on, sorry.
I just said I think people use it loosely sometimes.
Well, exactly what I was about to say. The real word of friend. What does the word friend mean? How does the word friend affect each and every one of us differently, right? And the real definition of friend is somebody who's always there. And we have to be always there for each other. And, that's one of the reasons why people like Leslie got upset about people, being told to go brunch and forget doing this and forget doing that, because she wants to keep on LinkedIn where her community is, where her people are. And who can blame her, right? But if this StreamYard thing works, then that's fine. It works. And you can go to other social medias, you can pick and choose, you can take bits from these tapes, you can take bits from other tapes. But whatever works for you has got to work for you. But you're no good to anyone dead. So
Right.
number one priority, because there's no good having big dreams. It's no good standing at the front of a room of 2,000 people and telling them how to do stuff, and then not looking in the mirror and talking to yourself. So I'm telling you that you need to look in the mirror and talk to
I
yourself.
did. I was talking about you earlier since you came up here, and when I told them that I called you saying you need to just hire some help, even though you want to be independent. And then I'm like, I was talking to myself and didn't know it.
The problem with so many things is when you are independent, when you see yourself as independent, accepting you're not independent is not easy. I mean, I took that scooter, the mobility scooter out, and it got dark very quickly, and the pavement was black that we were on, and the tarmac was black. So it just looked like it was all just flat. Next thing you know, as I took off down from the curb, humans aren't supposed to fly, right? Off I went, and then I came down, bang. And then for 2 days, I've barely been able to walk. But I'm not on here telling you that to make it any better. I'm here saying that nobody knows what's going on behind the window, right? Unless you tell them. And the
Yeah.
biggest person you need to tell is yourself.
Yeah.
So I am going to be your moany friend, and I am a friend, and I will be moany until you get things sorted, because you're no good to any of us if you're not here, and we all want you here. So that should be enough to get you. And I've told you about the $200 is sorted. I've told Charles I'm having that for Christmas. So that's covered. No, I'm serious.
You can put it on the donation link.
Charles is donating it for me for my birthday, for my Christmas, not my birthday, for Christmas. So that's what I've got. I've got a Kim that's going to get fixed, right? So that's it. Otherwise, there's no point in having a Kim.
Yes.
It won't be Coach K. It'll be just Coach, and there'll be no one there.
Yes.
Doesn't even bear thinking about.
It'll be all those sports guys showing up, and it's like, no, we're not talking to you.
No, I don't want to talk to a six pack. I'd rather talk to you. So
Look,
the answer is, any talent has got to go get it fixed.
Coach K, I don't think you've made your ask yet. Paulette's helped you enormously. So let's be like Michael was saying, you haven't said how we can help you yet.
I'm very sorry.
So I would help you. So Michael spoke earlier about clarity. I think clarity is the most important thing in the world.
I put the donation link in the chat. So it basically, this is what I'm doing and how you guys can help. I just, instead of putting my website right now, I have a donation link that explains that it's kind of like a community kickstart, basically, where anybody that donates over $25, I'll send them out a link to join the private community as a thank you. But it's literally a write-up in the comments that show people that, and I need to post it on all the other platforms, but I've been trying to get this thing out. So you donate whatever you have on your heart to donate. If it's only $1 can be donated. I want to be very clear that if 1,000 people donate $1, that actually would help. But for those that are in positions to donate 25 or more, I'm going to start taking some time out my day to add those people personally, send out thank yous and invites into the private community. So as the thank you. Now, once you guys donate 20% of whatever is donated to me, that's the money I'll have to do things for the Kids Adventure Club. So every time an adult donates over $25, then it unlocks this Kids Adventure Club memberships, because I'm going to have to live a different way according to what I find out when I find out what all is wrong with me. And so I'm going to intentionally teach what I'm supposed to be doing to kids. And so instead of them learning how to do it the wrong way, we learn together. So I'm doing the right thing. So that's what all this was about. But to help me to just go into the link that I added, can somebody confirm if they can see it? Because I can't see any of the comments.
I think I posted it in the LinkedIn. There is a .cc in the URL.
Do you see? Click it and see where it goes.
Yeah, conta.cc / blah blah blah. I don't know if it's this one.
No, I'm saying, did it open up to a flyer? And you have the controls. Can you click it and share the screen?
Yeah, it's a support a worthy cause. It's the link that you posted on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I donated. I mean, I didn't say I donated. I put it on my page, but I knew that I needed to have this live so people could actually understand it a bit more. And so that's what this is. That's me asking for whatever help is available. But if anyone has any business opportunities, that there are partnerships or collaborations that they think may work, because like I said, Annie and I are doing a book together, and the way that he presented it works because it doesn't cause me extra work. It allows me to just do what I'm doing, and then he does what he does, and I won't pull him from the back too much. I'll just have you guys come up, and he'll be the man in control, and I'll let him float in the shadows and pull him out occasionally, because I know that he's a wealth of information himself. So if anybody has opportunities, hr@coredmanagementintl.com is my email, and I will put that in the comments as well. so that opportunities can be placed there, but it'll only be on LinkedIn. I'm not going to put my email on regular platforms. That's not the place that I want my information like that floating. But if they're connected to me on LinkedIn, then I'm totally okay with it. Does that answer, Mr. Annie?
We're a bit clearer, so please do go to the comments page after the event, and if you can donate, as Coach K says, then the link is there. Don't just run away from this event.
Oh, wait, another thing I need help. If everybody could follow my YouTube so that when we do these lives and I'm going live with different people, if this show gets some traction, then I could go live on YouTube too. And so for those that are connected with me, I really want to use my network to grow your network. So I do need those subscribers that are free. So people that don't have money that would like to support me, if you could like and follow all of my social medias. They're all on the top banner of my website, CoachKConsults.io. The following helps, like with everything that I'm trying to do in terms of gaining more presentation for everybody. Take the time to follow. If you see me posting, comment. If it resonates, say something. If you don't have much to say, drop emojis or something, because the more active you are versus just watching, the more this content gets out to help more people. Because if it helped, you guys help me, it sounds like I've helped a few other people. So I want to get all these messages out to whoever needs to see them.
Well said. My friends, we do have to go home eventually, right?
Yeah.
Our time's
I'm good
come.
now. I actually have a meeting that I'm running behind for. So I'm okay with ending the room now. I appreciate all you guys for coming up.
So I'll play a song, the song that you chose again, that's to see us out.
Okay.
Connect with Coach K, connect with each other, of course. Now, for those who have resources or people that you can send Coach K's way, then make those connections and let's have those conversations. I mentioned to a healer I met yesterday in Nigeria, to Michael. So no reason why I won't mention the lady to you, Coach K. So
wait, say it again.
So I met a young lady. Say young. Everyone's younger than me, right? So everyone's a young lady to me. And she got healing powers. She tells me truly. So I'm saying, if you really have, then I'll introduce you to my friends. Let's see if you can actually help. If you can make a difference to any of them, then of course we will take you more seriously. And I will believe what you're saying. So I'll introduce you to her. So I know Michael wanted an introduction to her as well. So I'll do that in the DMs.
Okay, that works.
Where we'll get to. Thank you so much, everyone. You're true stars. Unless someone's got a last thing they really want to tell us before we leave, and I will thank those who've joined us. Worknesh, I see you, Michelle, as always. Thank you so much. Ollie, thanks for managing the comments. I know why only a few of the comments show up on here on our StreamYard.
And I'm going to go back and go on my LinkedIn and comment to everybody. But yes. I have a meeting in Nigeria, like WhatsApp in Nigeria. So go ahead and put if people have anything to say it, but I got it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So I'm going to play our leaving song. Enjoy your weekend. See you tomorrow, I'm sure.
Of your time. I could tell you stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. Yeah. So give me just 1 second of your time.
1 second to let it breathe. Just a second is all I need. When you're questioning everything you've believed, and you're fighting with the devil in your dreams. 1 second, just let me be. Let it pour, let it rain, let it bleed. Heavy is the head, but the pressure makes you heave. So you bill it, cause the spirit of depression never sleeps. And I am not the poster boy for mental health. I need peace of mind, I need to center self. The cover of the enemy, that shit made me resent myself. There's people trying to spread the word and people that pretend to help. But how am I complaining when I'm blessed? I get this guilty feeling on the days I'm at my best, when all these demons that I carry get to messing with my head. So could you give me just a second just to get it off my chest, please?
Of your time, I could tell you stories about my life. I've seen hope and I've seen struggle through these eyes. So give me just 1 second of your time.
Lie. 1 second to recollect. Just a second is all I get. I can't tell where I'm heading, I'm out of breath. All these early premonitions of my death. But I knew he had a plan. Lord knows I'ma do it if I can. When I take a stand, they say I'm ruining my brand, but I could never give a fuck, that's just my duty as a man. So if I go on stage at Brits and tell the PM she's a bitch, then that's exactly what it is, and I don't want no bloody straps for it. Mummy always said if there's a cause, then I should fight for it. So yeah, I understand, but I don't think that I'm alright with it. Like yeah, cool, I get it. Yeah, I know I said it, but there's people fighting every day and they don't get the credit. But it's cool, man, it's just one of the stresses in my mind. To get this off my chest, I need a second of your time, please.
About my life, I've seen hope and I've seen struggle.